Hello and welcome to Around the Hoop, the Westwood Basketball Show. I'm your host, Mike Gay. Joining me in studio is Coach Douglas and Brendan Donegan, the Boys Player of the Week. Coach?
Mike, how you doing?
So we missed last week. Unfortunately, we had an ice storm.
Right.
Go figure, living in New England. But you had 4 games over the last couple of weeks. Why don't you catch everybody up on what took place?
Sure. Tuesday before last, we had Norwood, which we were in Norwood. Tough game. Started out with them going on a 9-0 run. We responded with an 8-0 run. And then they just got a little annoying lead on us that we could never chip away at. And as time expired, we were never able to close that gap. So that was a tough loss for us. Then we went to Bellingham that Friday. We were able to rebound, get a nice win. They played us super tough. It was a good game for us. A lot of guys chipped in and got the job done. And then we went back right into the TVL Large the next Tuesday against Medfield. And again, tough game. We were tied at 18 at halftime. The third quarter, for the most part, was a little bit back and forth. They had like a 6-point lead around like the 4-minute mark. And then that last minute and a half, it just went way south for us. They closed the quarter out on a 14-0 run, I believe. And we never could get our way out of that hole in the fourth quarter. And then right back at it with no practice. We had Millis the next night, and we were able to put it on them pretty good. And it was a great, just total team win. We had 13 guys in the scoring column. Everyone got in play. And it was what we called like a kind of a get-right game for us and get us ready for the stretch.
So speaking of the stretch, the team has had some ups, some tough games, and
Yep.
Some of that might have been self-inflicted, but some of it, again, when teams are knocking down buzzer beaters and hitting really tough shots, it is basketball.
Right.
So how does the team fare right now with some of the goals that you set? Still within reach? Are you resetting some of those goals?
We can kind of put the league to rest. I think Norwood's going to secure the large side unless somebody can make a push and they lose a couple games, but. Just with the amount of games left, I think they only have 1 league loss, so it would be tough for them to not win it. So unfortunately, winning the TVL Large is probably off the table for us. Making the postseason is absolutely in. We're ranked 28th in the top 32 right now, so that's very much in the picture. And then it starts with believing that you can win a state championship, and these guys, they've set that as a goal, so we're going after it.
That's great. Why don't you intro Brendan Donegan? Brendan was here as one of the captains a few weeks back,
Right.
and it's great to have Brendan as the Player of the Week.
Right, so Brendan was tremendous for us. I mean, again, Medfield was a tough loss. A lot of guys, we didn't shoot well, we didn't play well, but Brendan was kind of a steadying force for us. He took down a ton of huge rebounds for us. Within that first half, when it was 18-18, there was a tremendous play where he actually made the wrong read offensively, missed our shot, but was able to take it to the hole, and he got himself a bucket, which bailed us out there. And then right back on defense, he hit bang play. He dove for the loose ball. I was able to call a timeout, secure the possession. So it was just those type of plays that he makes night in and night out for us that makes him deserving of Player of the Week.
That's great. So congratulations, Brendan.
Thank you.
When we were here, whatever it was, 3 weeks, a month ago with the captains, you talked about all the things that you did as a captain, as an underclassman captain, the only junior captain on the team, and you're working on your individual game. That has seemed to pay off, doing the little things right, the gritty plays, the hustle plays, you're taking advantage of your size and your strength. Talk about, the last few weeks and how your game has progressed and what you're doing to continue that progression.
All right, so, the last few weeks have been very up and down for us. We went on a 3-game win streak, then 2-game loss streak, then win-loss. So, it's been very up and down, but I just try to control what I can control as an individual. You can control your effort, you can control your defense, all the hustle plays you can make, rebounding, charges, all that. So that's just what I've been trying to do these last couple weeks, help keep us try to get on a consistent path.
As a captain, and you see some of the peaks and the valleys, the ups and the downs, what do you try to do, not only with yourself, but also with the other players, especially the underclassmen players, to try to maintain consistency and try to overcome some of those valleys and pick everybody up?
Yeah, so it all starts in practice for us. If we have bad practices, it translates right to the game. We've seen that many times this year. If we have a bad practice, we'll go into the game and we won't play good. And so in practice, I always try to lead the younger players as best I can, because if practice starts going bad, then we already know our game's going to be going bad. So that's really where it all starts right there.
So I want to double click on that. What does bad look like? What does bad at practice look like?
It's bad at practice, like lack of communication on defense. That's how any defense will be bad. If you don't talk, your defense won't work. And another thing that's been kind of spotty for us is our defensive rotations. They're not as great as they've been in the years past, but we are a younger-ish team this year, so comes with experience. But that's another thing that's been one of our weaknesses.
That helps. So it's not a lack of effort. It's not people showing up with lack of motivation.
Right.
Everyone's given it their all, but it's the little things that you continually work on, and one thing breaks down and it tends to lead to a second or a third.
Yeah, definitely.
Got it. Oh, that's great. So looking ahead, again, some really critical games coming down the stretch here. You're still within reach of again, achieving the postseason, making the playoffs. With the change, and we've talked about this in previous weeks, the change in the MIAA playoff schedule, top 32 teams. There's the plus minus on your wins. A lot of these games, not only the wins matter, but also the score differential.
Right.
So we'll start with you, Brendan. Talk about your outlook and what you're doing right now to try to impact it.
I mean, right now we're just focusing one game at a time. I mean, if we start to look ahead, we'll get all on not focused anymore. So we focus on the game we got in front of us, and then the rest will come. Just take it day by day.
That's great. Coach, same question to you. Maybe a little bit more expanded from your seat.
Yeah, so I mean, guys really have to start identifying roles and embracing their roles, because the switching lineups in and out, like, you can only do that so much. Like, we are who we are, so guys really need to start buying in. And like, if you're only getting a few minutes a game, like, that means in your practice, work for more minutes, but get the guys ready. Like, be just a great teammate in that way. And we have a ton of, like, our whole team's that type of way. Like, I haven't felt any selfishness at all. Guys that don't play a lot of minutes still practice just as hard. So we need to keep that trending in the right direction. And then, like Brendan said, you got to play the game in front of you. We don't make our schedule. We don't dictate when Ashland's going to get rescheduled from a Friday after we prepared for them, and now we got to play them on a back-to-back to close out the season. Like, we can't control any of that. So Brendan hit the nail on the head. You just got to play it one at a time, and that's what we're doing tonight. And tonight's even more important for us, because it's senior night. We always want to put our seniors off in the right direction and win for them.
Quick health update. How is the health of the team?
It's healthiest as we've been. We have one of our call-up players that was swinging back and forth, Vic Ganson, still out with an ankle injury. But besides that, a couple guys are bruised and banged up, but no one's out on the shelf.
As they say, everybody is at this point of the season.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I am. I don't even play.
Wait till you're my age. I wake up injured waking up in the morning. Quick breaking news. The MIAA just announced today, or at least my Twitter told me they announced it today, that the MIAA players, including basketball, boys and girls, will not have to wear masks as of the 28th of February. What impact, if any, does that have on you or the team?
I can't yell as much and get away with it.
If you do, use the John Gaffney as a Westwood guy involved in basketball. If you see Gaffney refereeing a game and he puts his hand up to his face, he's usually saying something that shouldn't be televised. So
yeah, no, I think we've adapted well to wearing the mask. It's honestly, at this point, everyone has their own opinions on it. I think it's pointless. You got 9 out of the 10 kids on the floor wearing it below their nose or mouth and around their chin anyways. So what are we doing? I've been saying that since day one. I do get the health and safety, everyone trying to respect everyone's different situations, but I mean, we're allowed to be in the locker room together, all this stuff. So what's the point of wearing a mask around your chin for a game?
Brendan, do you think it will impact communication, or again, is it just something that the players have adjusted to already?
I mean, we've kind of adjusted to it pretty well. I mean, obviously it'll be more comfortable without them, but I don't really think it'll make that much of a difference communication-wise.
That's great. Well, hey, it's a change. Hopefully, the reason for the change is that COVID is hopefully waning down, and that the light is beginning to shine a little brighter at the end of the tunnel. Huh?
We hope so.
So best of luck tonight. Brendan, congratulations for being Player of the Week.
Thank you.
I expect to see you back in here before the end of the season.
Of course.
One game at a time, one possession at a time.
Exactly.
So good luck, guys.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Joining me next in the studio is the girls' coach, Catherine Clifford. And because it's just 2 adults, I'm going to remove my mask very happily. Coach Clifford, Cliff, thanks for joining us.
You got it. It's good to be back.
So it's been a couple of weeks. The last time we were sitting in this room, you were going to play Bellingham. So why don't you catch everybody up on that game and then the last couple of weeks?
Sure, if I can keep them all straight. So that night we hosted Bellingham. We got a really good win off of them. Just a good confidence night for our team. We scored 70 points, which is by far biggest output of the season. I think we had 6 players that scored 8 or more points. So just sharing the ball and getting everybody in, and it was a really good night. And then last week we went to Norwood on Tuesday night. Norwood, they're going to be contenders for a D2 state title, I think. And we hung in for a half. I was proud of our first half effort, and then they were just kind of too much for us, and we couldn't stick it out for 4 quarters. But a good learning experience, and definitely some highlights and things we can build off of. But so that was a tough one, but it happens. And then Friday we got iced out of Around the Hoop and our game, in order of importance. And then
that hurts. That hurts.
No, I put you first.
Oh, I thought you said our game. Oh, that's right. Well, then that doesn't hurt. Keep going.
And then now we're in the middle of a stretch. We're playing 7 games in 12 days. So we started that on Sunday. We have all 3 of our kind of COVID-related postponements happening in this stretch, and just the way it fell. So we're through 3 games, trying to keep them all straight. We went to Hopkinton on Sunday and got a 1-point win over them, which was awesome.
Huge.
Just really good team, 2 competitive, scrappy, kind of defensive oriented. The final was 41-40, and sort of got those stops at the buzzer that allowed us to win the game. So that was a really, really nice one for us. And then where'd we go? Then we went to Medfield. We had a doubleheader with the boys over there. I'll be quick on this one. It was a tough night. We played really well defensively. We held them to 42 points, and they're sort of healthy again, and they have their studs back, and they're a really good team. So defensively, we were happy. Offensively, we really struggled. It was kind of the opposite of the Bellingham game, where the low confidence was sort of contagious. So
yep.
Again, something to learn from. And then last night we hosted Holliston. We beat them by about 20. Started the game off really well. Played good defense. Our press was working well, and we just kind of had a wire-to-wire win over them, which was really nice. And then tonight we go to Holliston. So we're doing sort of an NBA style home and away, back-to-back nights. But it's just the way the schedule falls. So we're just taking it as it comes.
Yeah, you can only control what you can control.
Exactly.
So how is the health of the girls? How are they faring?
Good. Knock on wood. Really good. People are doing well. I mean, definitely people are banged up. I mean, they're athletes. They play hard. They're competitors. So I wouldn't say we're at 100%, but everyone's healthy enough to play, and we have 12 girls cleared. But yeah, you do have to think about rest, and we're going to take it easy this weekend, despite the fact that we have 3 more games next week in 4 days, and it's just the stretch is kind of crazy. But you definitely have to keep in mind, as much as I want to be at practice and correcting things and working on things and on the court, we need to make sure the kids stay healthy, and we don't want to risk any injuries just from kind of overuse. So it's definitely in the back of our minds, and trying to strike that balance.
How do you find time when it's so many games are condensed to whether it be film work, whether it be practice time, whether to work on some of the things that need a little bit of rotation? How do you do that?
We don't. I think there's little things, like there was one game we had, I think I texted the girls of 6 video clips of Hopkinton. I was like, hey, make sure you check this out. We'll talk about it. I think typically what I do is we do a lot of our game prep, the practice before, and then our pregame kind of team meeting is less about basketball and more just about kind of our goals for the night and sort of the big picture stuff. And what we're doing in this stretch is just a little bit more of the X's and O's stuff right before the game, which is, I think, the only time to do it. So like we played Holliston last night. Any adjustments we have to make need to happen, right before this one. So, and that's going to be the case next week with some of the things we do too. So yeah, the girls have been really great and receptive. I just said, like, anything I send you, I'm not sending you busy work. Like if I send you a clip, please watch the clip. If I send you this, and but they've been great, and I think the focus has been really good. It's tough. We just keep talking about how we're grinding it out and taking it one day at a time, but they've been really good so far, and we're about halfway through this crazy stretch. So
yeah. So for the girls, they're balancing all of their schoolwork. They're playing so many games in a short period of time. So there's a lot of planning and kind of aspects of time management on their side. On your side as well. I mean, you're a teacher at the high school. You've got your full load of students. Of the tests have to get graded. The curriculum has to be created. So yes, how do you do it?
Just take it one day at a time. You have to prioritize. One of my classes was really great about it, but they were like, hey, have you taken a look at our quizzes? Not in an aggressive way. And I was like, it's definitely not going to happen until the weekend. Like, we have a game tonight, we have a game tomorrow night, and they appreciate the honesty. I think, like, we're doing our best, they're doing our best, and it's a crazy stretch, and I will sleep like a baby this weekend, I can guarantee you that. But it's just tough with the turnaround of like trying to watch the film and break things down, and at some point we'll do some film clips here, but it's not happening until this stretch is over. So We'll see.
Certainly understandable. So walk me through tonight and then a couple of the games next week and the Riley Classic coming up next weekend.
Yeah, so it's like I just called Fast and Furious February. I can't believe we're almost halfway done with it. So tonight we go to Holliston, which is our last scheduled road game of the season, which feels kind of strange, but we're heading there for a rematch. We just played them last night. Next week on Monday we host Ashland in the makeup game from last Friday. So we beat Ashland earlier in the season in our second game. They had a key injury that night, so they'll be a different team, and they've had some really nice wins this year. So we'll have to be ready for that one. And then Tuesday is senior night, so we're really looking forward to that aspect of it, but need to make sure we're ready to go because we play Hopkinton, who, again, we just beat by 1. So they're going to be coming in with a vengeance, trying to, play the upset on just play spoilers on senior night. So hopefully we can take care of business. Then we'll have a practice, which will be different.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then we host Bridgewater Raynham, who's a Division I team who's really good. It's the makeup of the championship game of the Mansfield Hearts for Hope tournament that was supposed to be played on December 30th. So we're getting that in, and we're hosting, which is a bonus home game, which is really nice. That'll wrap up our kind of regular season aside from the Riley. And then the Riley Classic, I don't know if we've gotten into it before, but it's a boys and girls combined tournament. On our side, we'll play Falmouth on Sunday. As that kind of first semifinal. The other game is Canton and Needham. So then we'll have the consolation and championship games for both the boys and the girls on Monday. So it's always a great 2 days. Our parents, our boosters on both sides do a ton of work, and it's just a really nice 2 days. We're fortunate to be able to host. So we're looking forward to that.
So I saw in your weekly newsletter a picture of the den and some of the fans that were coming out. There are a whole bunch of home games coming up for the girls. Is there anything that we can do to get the word out there, whether it be maybe WBA teams playing at halftime, maybe it's just getting the fans out to support the girls?
Yeah, we've had some teams there. It's been great, just groups of young girls there to watch, and which was awesome. I think some group of 7th graders was there last night. I think there were 5th graders that were there maybe a couple Fridays ago. Again, I don't even know what day it is today, so sorry if I messed up the grade.
It's Friday.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't have to go to work tomorrow. So yeah, it's great, and I think if you haven't seen us play, it's just a really, really great group of kids. It's just we play hard-nosed defense and kind of a fast pace, and it's fun to watch. So anybody that wants to come out, we love the support. But yeah, 3 home games next week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then the Riley Classic is home on the Sunday and Monday of that President's Day weekend, the first week of vacation. So
great. So if WBA, again, coaches want to get in touch with Coach Clifford, even myself, shoot me an email. I can help coordinate
absolutely.
halftime. So
Love
happy to do it. Okay, so tee up the 2 players of the week that you brought in.
So senior captain Katie Kissel is back, and then junior Ariana Katzman. They've both been great for us this year. Katie's sort of our rock out there as the point guard. She runs the show, and she's sort of like having a extension of another coach on the floor, which is huge. Just kind of getting people organized. And I know the girls look to her for direction and leadership, and she's doing a great job in that role. She's a great defender, and we rely on her in that way. Has also had some really nice offensive nights for us, and just kind of does a little bit of everything, just fills out the stat sheet. I think leads our team in almost every statistical category, which is impressive for a guard that she leads us in rebounds, and second place is not close, but it's steals and it's assists and it's just a lot of those things. So Katie's here, and then Ariana Katzman's a junior, having a really nice year. I think in terms of the jump from last year to this year is probably our most improved player. You can tell she really put in the work and made that jump, and her confidence is growing, and she's looking for offense more, and she's just tough on defense too, is a really good on the ball defender. So they're both here, and I know looking forward to chatting.
Awesome. Well, I will mask up when they come in, but it's great having you back in studio. Good luck tonight in the blurry stretch that you're going under, and may you sleep well over the weekend.
Thank you.
So good luck. Joining us next in studio are the 2 girls players of the week. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So Katie Kissel, senior captain, and Ariana Katzman, junior. First off, congratulations, Ariana. This is your first time on Around the Hoop.
Thank you.
So you're very welcome. So Coach Clifford just went over kind of a crazy stretch over the last couple of weeks, and you're in the middle of a kind of a grueling, 7 games in 10 days or whatever that is. We'll start with you, Katie. What are you trying to do as a player to kind of maintain some consistency and to, within your own game, but also as a team, as one of the leaders?
It's been really exciting being able to play in these games recently, but it has been a little bit more difficult without having practices. So the little practices that we have had, we've been just having to work extra hard and just maintain that level of focus during those games.
How comfortable are you to give instruction to other players? Again, there's no time to practice, right? And so Coach Clifford is trying to make rotations. She's trying to course correct either during the game or before a game or after a game. As one of the captains, does that extend to you? Do you give a little nudge, a little recommendation here and there?
Yeah, for sure. Everyone does too. Like, we all give each other a little advice here and there, and especially I think during timeouts or something. If I see something on the court that maybe one of the coaches didn't see it, I'll say it. Or during halftime too in the locker room is where Haley, the other captain, and I will definitely just reach out to everyone, say anything that we recognize on the floor.
Awesome. So Ariana, so talk about your game and the kind of the jump that you've made over the last year. Coach Clifford mentioned that you're probably the most improved player on the team, looking for your offense, doing all of the little things well, and really kind of elevating your game. How did you do that? And for kids that are playing in WBA, maybe freshman team, maybe JV, how do you invest in yourself to make that jump?
Yeah, so I definitely think it's a confidence thing, and I think over this past year I've been working a lot one-on-one with a coach and really trying to improve my skills, and also like reminding myself that I just have to move on to the next play because sometimes I'll get caught up in the game. So I think really just focusing on that next play mentality has helped.
So just to double click that, is that if the shot doesn't go in, if maybe there was a defensive kind of, somebody got by you or the rotation wasn't there, just washing that away and then focusing on what you can control, which is the next play?
Yeah, exactly. Like no matter what happened, if I turned the ball over, if someone scored, just focusing on the next play and how I'll put a stop to the next one.
That's great. So I want to do a little bit of a fun exercise here, and we'll start actually with you, Ariana. Describe the type of player you are by telling everybody your favorite thing to do on a basketball court.
Yeah, so I think my favorite things to do on the basketball court on offense is definitely like driving and then kicking out to someone for a three. And then on defense, I would say putting pressure on the guards and really just trying to keep them in front of me and turn them as much as I can helps a lot.
So I will synthesize that. It's being an unselfish player on offense, with more penetration, go to the hoop, defenses collapse and you can kick.
Yeah.
And then defensively, really getting up in the face of the opposing point guard. With the point guard runs the offense, and you just try to kind of start there. And if you do your job well there, everything else kind of comes into play with the rest of the players.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Awesome. So Katie, describe the type of player you are with your most favorite things to do on a basketball court.
So I agree with everything that Ariana said. I feel the same way, and I also consider myself a player who likes to play really fast. So like any fast break, or I love pressing and like being on top of the press and just like getting a steal and then into a layup and yeah. So that's definitely one of my favorite plays in basketball. And then also like give and go, just anything simple like that. And especially with the other captain, Haley, we've been playing together since like third grade now, and I think we have pretty good chemistry and we can always find each other, so I love being able to play with her and connect good passes.
So now a little bit of a harder thing. So those are your favorite things. When did you identify that those are your strengths and the things that you bring to the court, and what did you do to improve on the drive and the dish, the defensive intensity? What did you do on that, plus the speed of the game? How did you elevate your game from pre-high school to being freshman and sophomore and now junior and senior? Start with you.
I think like obviously the adjustment to varsity like as a sophomore was pretty big, but just being able to learn from the older girls, the seniors and juniors on the team, and watching them play was really helpful, and they always pushed me in practice, so that definitely made me get better.
Awesome. Ariana?
Yeah, like Katie said, I think a lot of it comes from practice. Adjusting to the pace really happens there, I think, and seeing the upperclassmen really helps me to like quicken up to the pace, especially coming onto the team as a freshman. I think that I looked up to the seniors a lot.
That's great. So I didn't get into this with Coach Clifford. We had a bunch to cover. Goals through this point in the season, there have been some amazing wins. You start off really strong. There have been some back and forth, but you're in a really good spot with a lot of the goals that you had set early season. Are those goals the same? Have you changed them? We'll start with you, Katie.
Yeah, I think we definitely still would love to be in the top 16 of the division, because then we'd be able to have a home game for playoffs. And then just continuing to do really well in this stretch that we have going forward. We have some good games coming up with like Bridgewater Raynham on Thursday, which will be a home game, which is exciting, and they're just a really tough team. So even if we don't get the outcome we want with that game, I think we'll grow a lot from it because they'll be a good opponent.
Awesome. And anything to add, Ariana?
Also the Riley Classic. I'm really hoping that we win that and clinch the home game, like you said.
So I'm going to ask you, Ariana, this next one. So senior night is next week for the girls. As an underclassman and having been, JV last year and seeing senior night, and then being a junior and seeing senior night, as an underclassman, what do you try to do to kind of honor the seniors that you've learned so much from, coming into the home stretch?
Yeah, so the seniors have been really great leaders this year, on and off the court. So we definitely want to make sure that we have posters for them, that in the locker room we're celebrating them, and on the court that we're really just cheering them on always and making sure that they get like the recognition that they deserve for all that they do for the team.
That's awesome. And then, Katie, I know I'll probably see you again before the end of the season in studio, but being a senior with the home stretch, what does it mean to you, maximizing kind of every second, every minute, every quarter, every game?
Well, I think the biggest thing about having the home games is just like being able to have our home crowd. And like I think Cliff mentioned earlier, we've had a lot of the younger girls come and watch our games, which has just been like a really nice experience because that used to be me. And like Ariana, like I always used to go to the games and watch the girls, and like it would be so cool to see them play. And now it's just weird that I'm the one on the court. So I'm really happy that we can like play in front of them and hear them cheering for us. It's really nice.
That's great. So completely off script question, who do you have for the Super Bowl? Do you know who's playing in the Super Bowl?
The Bengals?
The Bengals, yes. And the Rams.
The Rams, yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you got?
I say Bengals.
I'm going to go with Bengals too.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm rooting for the Bengals as well. I don't know if they'll win, but hopefully it'll be a good game. Well, hey, congratulations to both of you, especially Ariana, being this your first time in Westwood Media Center. It's great to see you. Hope to see you back here.
Thank you.
And Katie, phenomenal effort so far this year.
Thank you.
Finish strong.
Thank
We're all
you.
pulling for you.
Thank
so
you.
Good luck, girls.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us on Around the Hoop. I first want to thank the Westwood Media Center staff, Executive Director Melinda Garfield, Connor Lynch, and Emma Maloney. Also want to thank Coach Clifford and Coach Douglas. Having them in studio every week is awesome, and without them, you'd get really sick of me. Also want to thank the Players of the Week and congratulate them again, Brennan Donegan on the boys' side, and Katie Kissel and Ariana Katzman on the boys' side. Please come out and support both the boys and girls teams as they finish out their season strong and hopefully make a run in the MIAA playoffs. You can check out the girls and boys schedules on the high school site, as well as their individual team pages. Again, thank you for joining us. We have a lot of fun doing the show, and we hope you enjoy it. Until next week, we'll see you on the basketball court.